Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise to bring you the insights that matter. And today, we're embarking on a really interesting deep dive. We're looking at the brand new Sphere-class ship, the Star Princess. She just had her delivery, September 26th. And
Ugh.
then, literally days ago, October 4th, she sailed from Barcelona on her maiden voyage.
Yeah, it's a fascinating moment, actually, because we have all the glossy pre-launch information, but we're also getting those immediate real-time updates from passengers who are actually on board right now.
Exactly. That mix of plan versus reality.
Right. So our goal here is to kind of unpack all of that. We want to look at the itinerary for this first 11-day cruise, see what makes Star Princess maybe a bit different from her sister, Sun Princess, and touch on the people involved and where she's heading next.
Okay, let's start with that itinerary. 11 days, Western Mediterranean, round trip from Barcelona. It sounds pretty ambitious for a first run.
It really is. They're
Yeah.
calling it a bucket list trip, and you can see why. It hits Marseille, Rome, well, Civitavecchia for Rome, Naples, Sicily, Cartagena, Gibraltar, then back to Barcelona on October 15th.
Wow.
It's definitely designed to, put the ship through its paces right away with lots of different ports. A real logistical test from the get-go.
All right, so let's get into those passenger updates because the first few days on any new ship, especially one this advanced, there's always going to be a learning curve, right, for everyone involved.
Oh, absolutely. And we saw that almost immediately. There was an update, I think it was day 3, October 6th.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, strong winds kept them docked in Marseille longer than planned, pretty much overnight.
Oh, okay. Did that mess up the schedule?
Well, the good news is no. It seems the overall itinerary wasn't affected, so they must have built in some buffer time, which is smart planning for a maiden voyage.
Definitely. And beyond just the sailing, there's the whole process of welcoming, 4,300 guests,
Yeah.
getting them settled in the piazza on day one.
Right. But you know what always comes up first in feedback?
Let me guess. Food. Specifically late night food.
Bingo. Yeah, exactly. When and where can you grab something to eat after hours? And this is where the official information meets guest experience. Sources pointed out some early questions about late night dining, but the patter, the daily schedule they hand out,
Yeah, the onboard newspaper, basically.
right. It apparently clearly states the International Cafe closes at midnight.
Okay, so that's published. What happens after midnight then?
Well, that's where it gets a bit limited, it seems. Your options are basically pre-made grab-and-go items from the eatery buffet area, or using the Ocean Now delivery service to get something sent to your room.
Hmm. So not a lot of walk-up options late at night. Good for night owls to know.
Crucial detail, yeah. Especially on a ship this massive. We're talking 177,800 gross tons. It's huge. Accommodates 4,300 guests. It's definitely one of the biggest and, technologically speaking, most advanced ships they have.
And that technologically advanced part isn't just talk, is it? We should mention the LNG power.
Oh, absolutely. That's a key point. Star Princess runs on liquefied natural gas. It's not just a side note. It makes her one of the fleet's, well, cleanest ships environmentally. Lower emissions compared to traditional fuel.
Right. Which is important for managing a ship of this scale efficiently.
Definitely. But even with that learning curve on late night snacks, it sounds like some other things landed really well right off the bat.
Like what?
Well, little things, but things people notice, like new self-serve soft ice cream dispensers on Deck 9. Always popular.
Can't go wrong with ice cream.
Exactly. And importantly, it seems most of the food stations in the eatery, the main buffet, are now self-service. That should speed things up considerably, especially during peak times.
Okay, that's a practical improvement. But what about the tech side? I saw something about the drink dispensers, the ones using the medallion.
Ah, yes. That's an interesting point. Our sources mentioned that the self-serve soft drink dispensers, the ones you're supposed to tap with your medallion puck, they apparently weren't operational yet during these first few days.
Hmm. Is that typical for a big new ship launch like this?
Sure.
Or a bit of a hiccup?
It's not unusual for some minor tech features, especially things tied into proprietary systems like the medallion, to have a slight delay. But yeah, it's probably a bit disappointing for those first guests expecting it.
Right.
It really highlights the complexity of integrating everything on a fully smart ship. They're obviously focusing on the core systems first, but definitely something to be aware of if you're sailing soon and planning on using that feature heavily.
Gotcha.
But, speaking of getting things right, we should probably highlight the cruise preparation.
Good point.
They went through some pretty intensive training, apparently, including certification from the British Butler Institute. That's a serious investment in service standards right from day one.
And great service needs great spaces to happen in. So let's shift to the ship itself. How do they tweak the design of Star Princess compared to Sun Princess? It sounds like they listened to feedback.
That seems to be exactly it. The changes aren't just random. They look like direct responses to how people use the first ship. Take Love by Brito, the specialty dining spot.
Okay.
On Star, they've expanded it, added maybe 16 or 20 extra seats by enclosing the balcony space on the port side up on deck 17 aft.
Ah, interesting. So they needed more capacity there.
Seems like it. Recognizing that these unique premium experiences were potentially selling out or feeling crowded on Sun Princess. And it's the same story with O'Malley's Irish Pub.
Right, the pub. What changed there?
They expanded it by a pretty significant 32 seats. Again, that suggests the popular, more casual spots might have felt a bit packed on the sister ship, so they addressed it here.
Makes sense. More room in the popular spots. Did they add anything completely new space-wise?
They did, actually. On deck 7 aft, opposite the Wheelhouse Bar, Star Princess has a dedicated fine arts gallery.
Oh, okay. Sun Princess doesn't have that.
Nope. So that adds a specific kind of cultural venue that wasn't there before, catering to a different interest.
And what about up top? Any changes to the outdoor decks?
Yeah, the Sky Deck got some attention too. They've added a brand new sports court up there, for things like pickleball, basketball.
Volleyball, of course.
It's everywhere, isn't it just? So you've got that, plus the jogging track and a splash pad area. Seems like they really wanted to maximize the use of that outdoor space. Make sure every bit serves a function.
Got it. More usable space. And all these physical upgrades probably tie into the entertainment too, right? Especially with that high-tech Princess Arena.
Absolutely. And they launched with new shows.
Tell us about those.
Okay, so 2 brand new original production shows debuted. First is Meridian, described as sort of a big cinematic show with an original score. Sounds quite grand.
Okay.
The second is called Illuminate. This one apparently takes place under like a nostalgic circus tent canopy visual. Focuses on moments of wonder. Different vibe.
Interesting contrast. Any returning favorites get an update?
Yes. Spellbound by Magic Castle is back. But it's not just the same show. On Star Princess, it has a whole new theme. It honors a specific magician, Richard Valentine Pitchford, who is known as the Great Cardini.
Oh, cool. So it's not just general magic, it's themed around a real illusionist. That has a nice layer.
Exactly. Gives us some fresh narrative depth rather than just repeating the Sun Princess version.
And what about the dome? That huge glass structure on top.
Right, the dome. It's being used for something called the Candlelight Concert Series. They basically transform the space at night using lighting and music, often reimagined classical pieces to create this glowing, immersive atmosphere.
Sounds lovely. A totally different use for that space compared to daytime.
Yeah, really trying to leverage these unique architectural features for different experiences.
Okay, so the Maiden Voyage is underway. The ship is finding its sea legs, but this is just the start, right? What's next in terms of the big milestones and where she's heading?
Well, the immediate next big thing is the official naming ceremony, the christening. That's set for November 6th, 2025, when she reaches Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, Fort Lauderdale. And that's usually where the godparents come in. Who did they choose for Star Princess?
They definitely went for star power. It's Camila and Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
Yeah. They're also co-founders of Pantalones Organic Tequila.
Ah, the tequila connection. I seem to recall that being served on board.
Exactly. It's a pretty clever synergy, really.
Yeah.
The official line is they were chosen for their, passion for life and charisma, which is true.
Sure.
But let's be real, it's also fantastic marketing because their tequila brand is already part of the Princess beverage program across the fleet. It aligns celebrity appeal with onboard offerings perfectly. Good business, good PR.
Makes total sense. So, ship gets named in November. What happens after this current med season wraps up? Where does she go?
So, right after this 11-day inaugural, she does one more shorter 7-day cruise in the Mediterranean. Then, on October 22nd, she departs for her transatlantic crossing. That's a 14-day journey over to Fort Lauderdale.
Got it. Setting up for the winter season.
Precisely. That transatlantic voyage positions her for a full winter 2025 through spring 2026 season sailing in the Caribbean. Lots of sunshine cruises.
Nice. And after the Caribbean?
Then she heads west. She'll reposition through the Panama Canal over to Seattle. And that's for her summer 2026 debut season, doing the 7-day Alaska Inside Passage cruises.
Wow, okay. So Med, Caribbean, Alaska, they're really showcasing her in all the major markets right away.
Yeah, it's an aggressive schedule. High visibility across the board for the newest ship in the fleet. #outro.
So summing up, it sounds like the Star Princess launch has been pretty successful so far. A beautiful ship, Clearly technologically advanced, especially with that LNG power making it one of their cleaner vessels.
Definitely.
And we should also give a nod to Captain Gennaro Arma, who's commanding this inaugural journey. Very experienced.
Absolutely. But, if you pull back and look at the bigger picture here, connecting all these dots,
Yeah.
what strikes me is how fast things are changing, even within a brand new ship class like Sphere.
How do you mean?
Well, Star Princess was initially positioned as, a slightly more refined Sun Princess, kind of suggesting minimal tweaks.
Right. I remember that phrasing.
But then you see these quite specific design changes. Bigger pubs,
Yeah.
expanded dining, clearly reacting to how Sun Princess actually operated in the real world. And maybe the most telling thing, that updated Spellbound by Magic Castle experience, the one themed around the Great Cardini,
Yeah.
it debuted on Star Princess on October 4th, but sources say it also rolled out on the Sun Princess on the exact same day.
Oh, so the new experience wasn't exclusive to the new ship, even on day one.
Apparently not, which really blurs the lines, doesn't it?
It does. That rapid convergence is really the key takeaway here, isn't it?
I think so. And it leaves you, the person thinking about booking, with a practical question, right? If the refinements from the newer ship are being backported to the slightly older sister ship almost instantly, does that refinement gap really matter? Where should you put your money? For a ship class that's iterating this quickly, almost in real time it feels like, what's the next enhancement going to be? Will it arrive before your cruise?
Yeah.
It makes choosing between them maybe a bit more complex than just newest is best.
Yeah.
Definitely something for you to mull over.
Food for thought, indeed. That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.